Hello, I'm Sunshine, and I am Rainbow's opening act. Well, my first vlog is called The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes.
How to train your Gavin. Read those books in a blink. Oh yeah. Grab yourself a hot drink cause you're watching How to Train Your Gavin.
Yep, that's me. Hey guys, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. I've been waiting for this day for so long, and the book I've been really excited to read is The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Obviously, Suzanne Collins is the writer of the Hunger Games trilogy, and this is the prequel to that, and I have been waiting for something from Suzanne Collins for a very long time. I love the Hunger Games trilogy, and I even love the movies as well. I just love the whole Hunger Games Panem world. So I've been waiting for something to satiate my hunger for another Hunger Games novel. And then we get this. It is apparently a sort of President Snow origin story. Now, he is the villain in the Hunger Games trilogy. If you do not know, I'm sorry. A big spoiler there. This is going to be a spoiler-filled vlog, by the way. So if you do not want spoilers for this book, I would recommend pausing it here and then coming back at a later date if you care. I don't want to hold back on what I think on this. I want to be able to tell you all of my thoughts on specific things and just like vlog my whole experience reading this. If you're interested, I mean, I'm not that interesting, so yeah. This is like a President Snow origin story, and a lot of people weren't the biggest fan of that idea when it first got revealed, but I don't know. Everybody loves a bad boy.
Yeah, not a fucking terrorist, though, Chris.
So I'm actually really excited to read this. I kind of like the idea that it's going to be a sort of villain story, or coming of villain story. I don't know what the term is. Leave me alone, it's really late. Because I feel like if we had have gotten another Hunger Games story that was told from the point of view of someone from the districts, like one of the characters from the Hunger Games original trilogy, you know, from their younger years, like Mags. I mean, that would be great, of course, but it would still be like a Hunger Games retelling, just told from a different character's perspective. I mean, let's not go the Midnight Sun route. Let's just do something original here, and I really appreciate the fact that Suzanne Collins is doing that. So yeah, I don't want Hunger Games from Edward Cullen's perspective. I want a brand new Hunger Games novel, and this is it. I really hope this isn't a disappointment. If you want to see what it looks like under the dust jacket, I'm willing to oblige. This is how it looks like, and yeah. I mean, yeah, it's piss yellow, but it's nice with a snake. So I want to get straight into reading this. I've been holding off for too long for it already. I've been waiting for my middle grade readathon to end so I can begin with this one. Oh, I'm so excited. I'll keep this off now because I don't want to get my fingerprints all over it. Again, this is your final spoiler warning. There are just going to be spoilers throughout this, okay? Thanks for watching anyway. Even if you tune out now, please don't forget to subscribe. Guys, oh, hang on, that's not a flattering angle. Okay, guys, the first word is Coriolanus. I've said it wrong. Coriolanus. Coriolanus. I forgot that was President Snow's name, but the fact that the first word in this book is pretty much anus, it just says a lot. It says a lot to me. It speaks volumes. I mean, who has anus as the first word? I mean, I love me an anus, but it doesn't mean I want to read about it. God. No homo. Hey, it's me again. I am on chapter 3 of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I'm wondering how will Suzanne make me feel for President Snow? He is our protagonist. How am I supposed to relate to him or root for him? Because so far his problems seem a little bit, tedious, and just like not really that. So far what's happened in the story is that we've been introduced to President Snow, although he's called Coriolanus. Snow. It's such a funny word. I'm sorry if you are called Coriolanus and I'm taking the piss, I'm sorry. We are following President Snow, and he's at school and he's a teenager, and he is being assigned the District 12 girl for this mentorship program, because with the Hunger Games still going on, they're trying to shake things up a bit by having like, this mentorship program. So President Snow, I need to stop calling him that, Coriolanus, I'm just going to call him Anus. I'm just going to call him Anus from now on. Anus Snow is assigned the District 12 girl, which he's raging about. So I'm thinking, my theory is that he is going to start falling for this District 12 girl, and she is the person we're going to be caring about, and Anus is going to be caring about her as well. So I think that's where this is heading, and I'm only on chapter 3, so we'll see. We'll see if I'm right, but that's the only way I can think of me being invested in this, is if I start caring for this District 12 girl. I don't know if that's actually going to be something that's really focused on or not. We'll see. I don't know, but that's my early theory. And I bet you she dies as well. I bet you she's going to die. And he's going to be heartbroken. It's going to turn him into the horrible president he is. Watch this space. If I'm right, then my mind is fucking blown, because wow, I am a prophet. I've been reading this. I am on chapter 7, page 100. So I'm making nice, easy progress. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. Not an awful lot has happened, but chapter 6 ended on something that was quite gruesome. I may as well, well, this is a spoiler-filled vlog, so I may as well tell you. So one of the tributes slashes their throat, and that's how it ended. So obviously with the Hunger Games, the tributes are the people who are being forced to partake in the Hunger Games. And they've come to the capital now. Snow has met his mentee. Lucy is the mentee. So we've met Lucy Gray, and I like her so far. She's quite fanciful and a bit strange-ish. So like she's been doing a lot of singing and stuff, which just reminded me of the song in the Hunger Games, Are you going to the something like that, I don't know. It reminds me of that. So Suzanne Collins likes to write music or songs or just words on a page that doesn't really make any sense on their own, kind of thing. Like I can't picture the melody really, but apart from the one from the actual Hunger Games with Are you quite catchy actually. So I like Lucy so far. She is somebody I think we can root for, which is why I'm thinking that maybe Snow will fall in love with her and then she'll end up dying in the Hunger Games. And yeah, I think she's the actual protagonist that we will enjoy. I mean, she's not the protagonist, she's really a side character, but still, it's interesting. So I'll read some more of this and I'll let you know more of my thoughts about it. And also, I'm roasting. I need to get out my pajamas. Maybe wear nothing because it's that hot. So I will catch up and give you some more proper thoughts later. I'm now on part 3 of the Ballad of the Salad, and I don't know what I'm feeling actually. I'm kind of enjoying it, kind of not. So I will catch you up on everything that I've read, because I've read part 1 and part 2. Last time I updated you was when that person got their throat slashed. Well, it was Arachne, but it turns out one of the tributes slashed Arachne's throat, who is one of the mentors for the tributes, and they were like dangling food in front of them, and you know, it was piss poor kind of behaviour, so they deserve that. But then again, I feel like all of them deserve it. It's hard to feel stuff for any of these characters, to be honest, because I mean, I guess Lucy Gray, before the Hunger Games even started, like, I guess Suzanne Collins was thinking, oh, the plot isn't really moving that forward fast enough. I still have so much words to do before I get to part 2, which will be the Hunger Games. And so she just, like, throws some bombs in there, you know. That is, I guess, Suzanne Collins' kind of writing style. If you feel like the plot's moving a bit slowly, what have you got in your author arsenal? Oh, a bomb. Throw it in there and it'll work. It kind of did work actually. I was kind of excited about that. I mean, that part was fun. I like that. Unfortunately, Cunnilingus Snow survived it because it's told in third person, which I enjoy. I like it. It's definitely, I think it's still like well written. I do think Suzanne Collins is a good writer, but I'm just finding it really hard to root for him. I mean, I guess that's not the point. The point isn't to root for him. The point is to sort of see how he develops into the horrible villain he is in the Hunger Games trilogy. But then I start getting confused because then he does things that's quite sympathetic, but then I have to remind myself that he's only just doing these things, to, like, you know, for Lucy, to further himself. So it's like very selfish, but at the same time he is still doing good things just for the wrong reason, which is still doing the wrong thing. But at the same time, it's Lucy who I'm rooting for. Anyway, so we get to the end of part 1, and little bits of interesting things have happened. Had the snake section with Clemencia, and how she started to go all reptilian, which I found really interesting. I liked that. Unfortunately, that's probably where my interest kind of stopped, because then after that, in part 2, we have the Hunger Games, and you can definitely tell it's not as exciting or as interesting as the Hunger Games to come, because they're still figuring out the kings, which I found interesting. I just didn't enjoy that much. Is the lighting going dead weird again? I'm sorry about this. So we see how they come up with the bidding on the tributes, and how they are able to sponsor them and send things into the arena for them. I found that pretty cool, but I guess I would rather have this be set during the first Hunger Games, because I can only imagine how messy as fuck that would have been. Just like the 10th one is just so random. I mean, I know Snow had some part in that. I would have loved a prequel where we are seeing the whole war that came, and maybe even the rebellion that led to the Hunger Games. I would love a prequel like that, rather than Snow being a mentor for somebody who was in the Hunger Games. Yeah, Snow has his own issues. He is financially unstable. I didn't really care for that, because I kind of wanted him to be kicked out on his arse and, to actually struggle on the streets. Do that. I know that won't happen, and I know he becomes successful. I guess one of the pitfalls of this is that I kind of know the outcome for Snow, so there isn't any real kind of stakes or tension. One of the reasons why I love the first Hunger Games trilogy so much is because I wasn't sure of the character fates. And the problem with prequels to do with characters we know is that we know that they succeed, that they thrive, and they become who they are in the original trilogy, and it's the same thing for Snow. There is no stakes there. I did feel worried for Lucy. I didn't know if she would survive or not. Turns out she did. I thought my prediction was so wrong. I thought that she would die, and that would be some kind of lesson for Snow, I guess, but no, that didn't happen. I kind of wish it had have, though. I still have part 3 to read, so I don't know what happens next, but I still kind of wish that she died. I mean, how horrible is that? So because of all this, I am liking it. I'm reading it, I'm interested. It's not as much of a page turner as the original trilogy as well. I need to stop comparing it. That's one thing I need to stop doing so I can enjoy this more. Stop comparing it to the original trilogy. It's hard to do when it's set in the same world, but I'm like, why am I not holding it up? I didn't buy this to keep it out of shot. I'm also listening to the audiobook along with this, and did you know it is narrated by Santonio Fontana, who voices Hans of the Southern Isles? Hans narrates this. I'm loving it. I'm loving that. I'm loving the audiobook. I think the audiobook's fantastic. I'm putting that down because my hand hurts already. I have done 0 exercise during lockdown. The only exercise I've been having is not the kind of exercise I should be mentioning on camera. So yeah, the audiobook is great. I'm listening along and reading it. I love doing that. That's my favourite, is reading along with the audiobook. It's like Hans of the Southern Isles is telling me a story, and I like that. It's been a while since I've had a man tell me a story. But anyway, I'm going to go and finish this off, because I'm definitely going to get part 3 read today, and I am excited to finish it. I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm not excited about what happens to Cunnilingus, Snow, or anything, but I am looking forward to seeing what happens to Lucy. And even Tigress. Tigress is in this. I don't know if you know. Well, I didn't mention it, and you might not know. You would have known, because this is a spoiler-filled vlog, so you probably read it. But Tigress is in this one, and I like Tigress from the original trilogy. I remember they were in Mockingjay, and it's been a while since I read the original trilogy. I should probably do that after. But anyway, yeah, thank you for listening to me ramble. I'm going to read part 3 now. See you for the wrap-up. I just want to test to see if this works on the green screen. I don't think it will. I thought I'd wear some kind of snow-ish related jumper, Oh, it feels like it's strangling me, which is an accurate representation of how this book made me feel, to be honest. So I have finished Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and I will tell you what rating I gave it at the end, because we love some dramatic tension, something that was very lacking in this. Suzanne Collins, take note. Okay, as you can tell by the snarky little comment I made there, I was rather disappointed in this. Not like 100% disappointed. I would say it was definitely a 50-50 kind of feeling, because I don't I've taken some hours after finishing this just to sort of recollaborate my thoughts and feelings. So I last left you at the end of part 2, where Lucy won the Hunger Games and Snow helped her sort of cheat to win, and he has been made a peacekeeper and he has been sent to work up at District 12. It sounds good. Like, I was enjoying that, because I can't really imagine Coriolanus Snow in District 12. Unfortunately, it wasn't really all that interesting. Snow's friend Sejanus is also up there, and what is the fascination with having anus in the names of people? I mean, does Suzanne Collins have this kind of fascination with booty holes?
Not a hole, Keisha.
But Sejanus is definitely a lot more sympathetic towards people who are not from the capital, so anybody who's in the districts, anybody who is forced to be part of the Hunger Games, and the poverty in the land. Sejanus is definitely very sympathetic, but then again, so is Snow for like the majority of this, so I don't understand what we're supposed to feel for him, because I don't really like him, because I know who he becomes, and even then he makes some really awful decisions in this. So, I mean, getting back to Sejanus then, he is betrayed by Snow and ends up getting hung. Snow betrayed him by sending the Mockingjays to the capital, where it's recorded Sejanus's admission of guilt, and gets him hung. And, you know, I mean, I never thought that I would like Snow anyway, but that was definitely the final nail in the coffin. And anyway, I was kind of hoping that him and Lucy would sort of fall in love, but not, because I don't really want Lucy with him, because Snow's a no good person. This sounds morbid, but I kind of wanted Lucy to die. I wanted that epic moment. I felt this lacked an epic moment, which, you know, the first, second, and even the third Hunger Games novels have epic moments. This didn't really have an epic moment. Now I think about it, there wasn't an epic moment in this. All the way throughout this, it's kind of giving to you that Snow lands on top. That's a sort of motto, which I kind of like. I like that motto, because we have Snow falling, and then we have Snow lands on top kind of thing. It's like very good metaphors. Bravo. Bravo, Suzanne Collins. But I feel like things were just a bit too easy for him. I didn't feel like he was in any real... I mean, of course he wasn't in any real danger, because we know he survives this book. But then there was just no agency whatsoever with him. It just felt like he was given everything. He did work at some of it, but it was just Snow landed on top. Bravo. One of the biggest problems I have with this novel is characters. I mean, they are so interesting. Still, you know, I enjoy following them, but with Snow, it's kind of like, I wish I had seen more of that cunning, but because he sort of fell for Lucy, he wasn't becoming more sympathetic, but he was becoming more human, which he's a human, of course, but I just didn't want to see that side of him. If we were having a Snow origin story, I wanted to see the manipulative side, and we do see that every now and then, but for the majority of this, like the big majority of this, it's him trying to save Lucy from the Hunger Games. And then in the third part, it's him wanting to see Lucy after she wins. He has this idea of spending the rest of his life with her, and like, take that out. Take that somewhere else. I love the ending of this. I love that Snow went back to the capital and he ends up becoming like a game maker, and he contributes more ideas and stuff. And then at the very end, when he mistakenly leaves that bottle for, is his name High Bottom, Long Bottom, something like that, the previous sort of game maker, the person who, I'm sure he came up with the Hunger Games, I'm sure that's what was said. He was the one who came up with the Hunger Games, but he was getting on in years, and people weren't liking him that much because he was addicted to some kind of drug. I think it's called like morphling or something. At the very end, Snow leaves rat poison instead of the morphling for him, which I found really good. I love that ending. It just promises so much, but that's the problem with this book. It promised so much and didn't really deliver it that well. I am so conflicted, because I was still really enjoying the world, and I just kind of wanted to stay in this world for a little bit. And I really enjoy Suzanne Collins' writing style. I think she's a really good writer. For the dialogue, I can't fault the dialogue that much. I thought it was pretty well done. I kind of really enjoyed the start, and then I enjoyed the end. I felt the whole Hunger Games bit in the middle was really redundant, only because with the Hunger Games, what I wanted to say, if, you know, with it being in this, I really wanted to say the excitement of it, like, not the excitement of it because people are dying. There are people dying, Kim. Like, with the first and second one, we had characters in the actual Hunger Games who we really were scared to lose. And I did feel for Lucy. I wanted Lucy to succeed, and I had no idea if she was going to do that. But it was mainly from sort of the outside, and we didn't really get to see much of the Hunger Games. It felt very, even though it took pretty much the entirety of part 2, it felt a little bit brushed over. It didn't have the impact that the original trilogy has. If it had spent more time in there, which I know was hard because this is early days of the Hunger Games, so they don't have as many cameras and all that crap or whatever excuse Suzanne Collins wants to glaze over the Hunger Games in this one. But it just wasn't as interesting, and in fact it's probably like one of the least interesting parts of this book, which surprises me so much because I enjoyed the parts in the capital at the beginning, and then I enjoyed the parts of the capital at the end. So if we had just stayed in the capital, I guess I would have enjoyed this more, maybe. I don't know, because I can't rate this based on my ideal of what I wanted this to be. I just have to rate this on what is presented to me, and what's presented to me is a good book. I thought this was good, but it didn't live up to my expectations, which isn't the book's fault, I guess, but at the same time, yeah, it is, because now I do still want more from this world. I will still buy the next installment, whatever that might be, because I don't think we're done quite yet. I really do want more of Panem, but I wanted to have seen at least, like, some spin-off ideas. I wish we had have seen maybe the very start of, like, the rebellion and what led into the enactment of the Hunger Games, like the very first Hunger Games. Like, I can imagine how messy and volatile the first Hunger Games would have been because nobody knew what to expect. So that would have been really interesting to see, more so than this. Mags as well, it would have been great to have seen Mags when she was younger and part of the Hunger Games. Maybe even Hamish as well, like that would have been so fun. Even Effie Trinket, maybe her origin story. I want to know where her fascination with mahogany comes from. But then I think by the end of this as well, Lucy becomes such a vanilla character, but I'm kind of thinking, like, this is my theory, do you think maybe Lucy is President Coin? Could that be a thing? Because when I was reading this, I was like, well, what point did Lucy actually have to play? And then I was like, how sadistic would it be if it turned out that President Coin was Lucy and pitted against President Snow in Mockingjay? Like, that would have been a beautiful culmination, but I don't know if, I don't think that's accurate. I think that's too far-fetched. I don't know. I was wrong about the whole Lucy dying in the Hunger Games and being a kind of life lesson for Snow. Maybe if this had have ended like Lucy escaping to District 13 and she gets through the gates or something or goes underground, and then people are like, well, what's your name? And she's like, Coin. Alma Coin. I feel like that would have been quite fun. Maybe I'm stupid, I don't know. I am glad I read this. The audiobook was fantastic as well, but I'm also kind of glad that I can move on from this now. I don't have to pick you up again. I mean, maybe I might reread it in a few years' time without the expectations, without the hype. That might work. So my rating for this, I have given it a low 4 stars. But it's more a 3-star. I might just give it a 3-star. This is why I'm confused. I feel like 3 is a good rating because it's average and it's right in the middle. Yeah, I think I'm going to settle with 3. I'm going to give this a 3-star. It's not exactly a waste of time, but it's not 100% worth my time either. Looking forward to the movie adaptation though. I'm sure they'll do a good job with it. It might work better visually. Anyway, that was my Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I probably didn't contribute anything to the whole Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes conversation, but there we have it. That's the video. And I hope you enjoyed it. I really do. I really appreciate you watching it. And if you enjoyed it, please leave it a like if you did, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments if you've read the book and if you really enjoyed it. I'm so open to discuss this book. I think it's a really good conversation starter, so let me know what you thought of it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.